Namaste. Welcome back to our journey of reciting a chapter of Gita. Today we shall be reciting chapter 16 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha Atha Srimad Bhagavad Gita Atha Shodashodhyayaha Daivasura Sampadvibhaga Yogaha. Before we start the recitation of the chapter, I would like to give you an essence or a brief summary of what the chapter is talking about. The chapter is talking about the divine and the demonic nature. And the Supreme Lord says, fearlessness, purity of heart, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, sense control, sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, virtue, non-violence, truthfulness, absence of anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to criticizing others, compassion, freedom from greed, gentleness, modesty, determination, courage, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, freedom from hatred, those with divine nature are endowed with these, O descendant of Bharata. All the virtues in a dictionary are the traits of a person with divine nature. And what are the traits of demoniacal traits? They are pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harsh speech, and ignorance. These are the qualities of those with demonic natures. So why is he differentiating these two natures? And haven't we heard from him saying that each and every being has some supreme divine present in them, some form of supreme divine. So here why are these two traits being segregated or differentiated? The divine nature is conducive to liberation and ungodly nature to bondage. It is just that, like when we are feeling arrogant or angry, we get attached to something. And this is in my experience that when I get angry, I'm angry because I held a thought and that thought was defied by the others. I had an expectation that was defied by others. What happens when you do not have any expectation of anyone, or when you don't have arrogance? Arrogance comes from the fact that you identify yourself with certain things, and so you feel better than others or superior to others. What if you are not identified with anything specific that is changing, but you are identifying yourself with that supreme divine deep within your spirit or heart, and that is the same divine residing in each and every being's heart. And this is the reason Krishna takes some more time to explain to Arjuna the importance of knowing what constitutes demonic nature and what constitutes the divine nature. The only reason these traits are called divine or demonic is depending on how much we get attached to them. So attached to insatiable desires and absorbed in pride and false prestige due to lack of discrimination, the ungodly adopt impure vows attracted by the transient. When we get attracted by the transient, temporary things, we attach our identity with those things. And because of this attachment, we feel proud, we are absorbed in pride, and also because of this false prestige, due to lack of discrimination, we act in ways that is not conducive to our own spiritual evolution. And when we are engrossed in these temporary desires, we are engrossed in satisfying our sensory desires, believing it to be of prime importance. And we are filled with anxiety, bound by numerous desires, absorbed in lust and anger. So the ungodly entity assumes that I have gained much today, I shall therefore gain more tomorrow. This is mine, and it will increase in the future. One enemy has been killed, therefore the others shall also meet with a similar fate. I am the Lord, I am the enjoyer, I am successful, powerful and happy, I am wealthy and of high birth. There is none as powerful as I am. I shall perform sacrifices, I shall give charity, I shall rejoice. In this way, they are deluded by their ignorance. When we begin each and every action that we did as though I am, that the capital I, the big ego takes over, then there is so much pride and arrogance that we remain bounded by these material temporary things. So, due to egoism, power, arrogance, lust, and anger, the demonic person becomes envious of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in their own bodies and the bodies of others, because it is the lack of this ability to see the Supreme Divine in their own heart and others that one can get proud or arrogant. And he continues to say that those who are envious and wicked, who are the lowest among men, I repeatedly cast them into the ocean of material existence. So one desire leads to another, and then we are in this cycle of meeting with our desires. One of the most powerful verses in this chapter is that verse 21, where he talks about the three gates that lead to hell: lust, anger, and greed. These should be abandoned as they corrupt the soul, he says. And that one desire, when desire not met, leads to anger. And when the desire is met, when we get what we desire, we get greedy and we want more of it. So that is why it corrupts the soul. We get attached to that. So desires have this tendency to cling. When we let go of these three basic enemies or gates to hell, we can then engage in things that bring self-realization, move inward, do things that are slow and give us more fulfillment. Perhaps the pursuing a study or growing vegetables. Even growing plants is an act of slowing down and observing with awe the powerful beauty of nature. These are the things that do not cost you anything. They are not desires, because you don't need to pay anyone to just show up outside in nature and walk. And you do not need anything to start learning. I mean, one can begin learning at any age and at any stage in life. And learning is not only through books, learning is by talking to other people with experience and understanding this world through other people and the stories of other people. So with this intention in mind, let us recite the chapter 6. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Gnana-yoga-vyavasthitihi Danam Damascha Yajnascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam Ahimsa Satyamakrodhas Tyagah Shantirapayishunam Daya Bhuteshvaloluptvam Mardavam Dhirachapalam Tejah Kshama Dhritihi Shaucham Adroho Natimanita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata Dambho Darpo Bhimanascha Krodhah Parushyameva cha Ajnanam Chabhijatasya Partha Sampadamasurim Daivi Sampadvivimokshaya Nibandhaya Surimata Mashuchah Sampadam Daivim Abhijatosi Pan वशः प्रोक्त आसुरं पार्थ मे शृणु। प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च जनान विदुरासुराः न शौचं नापि चाचारो न सत्यं तेषु विद्यते। असत्यम् अप्रतिष्ठं ते जगदाहुरनीश्वरम् अपरस्परसम्भूतं किमन्यत् कामहैतुकम्। एतां दृष्टिमवष्टभ्य नष्टात्मानोऽल्पबुद्धयः प्रभवन्त्युग्रकर्माणः क्षयाय जगतो हिताः। काममाश्रित्य दुष्पूरं दम्भमानमदान्विताः मोहात् गृहीत्वा सद्ग्राहान् प्रवर्तन्ते शुचिव्रताः। चिन्तामपरिमेयां च प्रलयान्तामुपाश्रिताः कामोपभोगपरमा एतावदिति निश्चिताः। आशापाशशतैर्बद्धाः कामक्रोधपरायणाः ईहन्ते कामभोगार्थम् अन्यायेनार्थसञ्चयान्। इदमद्य मया लब्धम् इमं प्राप्स्ये मनोरथम् इदमस्तीदमपि मे भविष्यति पुनर्धनम्। असौ मया हतः शत्रुर्हनिष्ये चापरानपि ईश्वरोऽहमहं भोगी सिद्धोऽहं बलवान् सुखी। आढ्योऽभिजनवानस्मि कोऽन्योऽस्ति सदृशो मया यक्ष्ये दास्यामि मोदिष्य इत्यज्ञानविमोहिता। अनेकचित्तविभ्रान्ता मोहजालसमावृताः प्रसक्ताः कामभोगेषु पतन्ति नरकेषु च। आत्मसम्भाविताः स्तब्धा धनमानमदान्विताः यजन्ते नाम यज्ञैस्ते दम्भेनाविधिपूर्वकम्। अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं च संश्रिताः मामात्मपरदेहेषु प्रद्विषन्तोऽभ्यसूयकाः। तानहं द्विषतः क्रूरान् संसारेषु नराधमान् क्षिपाम्यजस्रमशुभाना सुरीष्वेव योनिषु। आसुरीं योनिमापन्ना मूढा जन्मनि जन्मनि मामप्राप्यैव कौन्तेय ततो यान्त्यधमां गतिम्। त्रिविधं नरकस्येदं द्वारं नाशनमात्मनः कामः क्रोधस्तथा लोभस्तस्मादेव तत्त्रयं त्यजेत्। एतैर्विमुक्तः कौन्तेय तमोद्वारैस्त्रिभिर्नरः आचार्यत्यात्मनः श्रेयस्ततो याति परां गतिम्। यः शास्त्रविधिमुत्सृज्य वर्तते कामकारतः न स सिद्धिमवाप्नोति न सुखं न परां गतिम्। तस्माच्छास्त्रप्रमाणं ते कार्याकार्यव्यवस्थितौ ज्ञात्वा शास्त्रविधानोक्तं कर्म कर्तुमिहार्हसि। ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे दैवासुरसम्पद्विभागयोगः नाम षोडशोऽध्यायः। श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। Thank you for listening. I hope you like the recitation of this chapter. Let us continue our journey with the next chapter in the next session. Namaste. Thank you for listening.